Good morning and welcome to Action Coach Online Training. I want to start with congratulating you on taking this first step to really making that choice to taking control of not just your business but your life. Now, since we haven't been personally introduced, my name is Christopher Penasa and I am the president and founder of Action Coach Online Training. Now, what I want you to get out of this little conversation we're going to have today is what Action Coach Online Training is all about, why it was built, and a little bit of history on myself. Now, I grew up in a small town in Wisconsin, Cedarburg, Wisconsin, actually, and I came from a small business family. And after completing college, I took over, my father owned a supermarket, and I took over that supermarket. My dad sold it to me not because he just loved me so much, but because it was difficult for him to sell it to someone else because the business didn't run itself. The business was my father, and he had to be there all the time. So he couldn't sell it to an investor or someone who really had a lot of other stores because it didn't run by itself. Hence, I took over. And one thing I learned, I was just 21 years old, and I learned that to really be able to steer my business, to be able to grow my business, I had to have a plan. I had to know where I was going, and I had to be able to mechanize this business and really bring the team into being part of my vision, where I wanted to go with the company. Well, I purchased another supermarket and another business, and I sold those out when I was about 29 years old. I worked overseas for about 7 years, realized that my passion was small business and being an entrepreneur. So I left that job and I came back to Wisconsin and started my coaching business. Well, after a number of years, I got to a point where my clients were getting so much success that my calendar was filling up. And I just didn't have a lot of time and I couldn't help all the people that I wanted to help. And another thing I found was that the people that needed the help the most were the people that the business owners that just couldn't afford it. Because private coaching will range from $1,500 a month up to $7,000, $8,000 a month. And the people that really needed it, no matter how well it worked, just couldn't afford it. And that's how Action Coach Online Training was born. What I did in this module system is this is a sequential system, meaning you are not going to be able to jump from module 1 mindset to module 5 marketing. It was created in an order for a reason. And you really have to take your time and work through each one of these modules to really get the base learnings that you need to own and run a successful business that works without you. These are real-world strategies, real-world solutions for real businesses. This isn't taught out of a textbook. This is done from real-life experience. My Action Coach Online team was handpicked, not just based on their raw talent, but their core beliefs and philosophies. To find out more about because we are congruent with our clients, take a look at our vision, mission, culture. And right, culture, you're going to learn, is the same as rules of the game. Now, these are things that your company is based on how do I want to say this? Every company has a culture. That is how people are expected to act, what the company is all about. Because it's not just what you do, it's why you do it. And if we don't have a really strong team that doesn't just have raw talent, but really has the same core beliefs and philosophies as you do, the company just cannot grow properly, if that makes sense. Now, there are a few things that you really need to be successful in this program. Besides 100% determination, perseverance, and willingness to change. This system is built also heavily on trust and integrity. Saying what you do, what you say you're going to do. Really, building a strong business is really not just doing excellent sales and marketing and having a good mindset, but really being a good leader, being able to set an example for your team. Because it's shifting from a manager to a leader. I was taught this a long time ago. Definition of a manager is getting work done through others. Definition of a leader is really be in tune with their hearts and minds. Because that's really the core, is to be a good leader where your main job is to take care of the team. Team takes care of the customers, customers take care of the company, and the company takes care of you. So as you're going through this module system, I want you to really make a choice to make a change in your life and your business, because it's not going to be easy. I'm not going to lie to you and say you're going to be doing this for a week and all of a sudden you're making $1 million a year and living in Cabo. It's not going to happen. I've met a lot of business owners over my years of doing this, and I cannot find one that has said, "Oh, Chris, I started my business, all of a sudden I was making $1 million a year. I didn't miss a wink of sleep. It was so easy." It doesn't happen that way. This is why everyone is not a millionaire. Because you have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to persevere. You have to be willing to be confused. Because this is a promise as you go through the system. You are going to be confused. You're going to get frustrated. But that's part of learning. Look at it like this. You could be trained, if you want to become a great marksman, you could be trained by the top Delta Force sniper they have. And are you going to be as good as that sniper within a couple weeks, no matter how good that sniper is? Of course not. This is part of learning. Until technology gets to the point where you can plug a zip drive into your head and download this information, you have to work for it. You have to be willing to learn. You have to be willing to be frustrated. You have to be willing to just really persevere. Confusion is great. It means you're learning. But you just can't give up. You have to keep going. This module system covers everything that you need. The key is the real base learnings of what you need to know to grow a great, successful small business that works without you. Because the difference between a job and a business is if you have a job, you go away for 6 months, the business folds. If you have a true business, it is systematized and built to run without you, on your systems, on what you've created with your team, and on your core philosophies. You're going to learn from mindset, to managing your time, to sales, to marketing. We have some of the best sales and marketing that you're going to find on this planet. To systems, to leadership, to hiring the right people, to keeping the right people. Knowing your numbers. This is all going to be covered in a sequential order. So really persevere and don't give up. This was created for the small business owner that wants to learn, willing to invest in themselves, but by the economies of scale we've created with this system at a cost that is well within the reach of everyone. So I really want you to work hard. I really want you to persevere and don't give up. Right? Definition of insanity, doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Being a small business owner is the most exhilarating, frustrating, challenging, terrifying, but rewarding experience anyone can have. And living in the United States, we are some of the very precious few who have this ability. Because the one thing that having a small business that works without you, a successful small business, one of the best things you get out of this is not just making a lot of money. That's just a result of doing this right, creating a really solid business. But it's really getting the freedom to choose what you want to do in life. Money doesn't necessarily buy happiness, but it buys choices. And not just choices for yourself and your family, but to be able to have the financial wherewithal to really give back and really be able to help those charities that you've always wanted to help, but you didn't have the financial resources in the past. Because that's the one thing that really gives me butterflies now, is to be able to give back, to be able to help others who I couldn't help before because I didn't have the financial wherewithal to do it. So welcome to Action Coach Online Training. Work hard, and I'll see you at the end. Thank you very much.